Rob's Roundtable.
Whoa, a little heads up next time.
I never do. Nope. The return, the triumphant return of Nick O'Face. You got to give him.
You know what I'm talking about? That ow, ow, ow.
Oh. You know what I'm talking about. Oh.
Love it. Mike Story, as always, he's back with his 8th grade haircut. I love it. I'm going to give him a hat soon when I order more.
It looks a little shorter this time.
I know, it's crazy.
I had to trim it up. I'm going on vacation on Friday. So
where you going?
Florida.
Okay.
It's hot down there.
You guys stay cool down there. I'm going to Wisconsin, so I can stay bushy.
Of course he is. We are going deep sleepers here. We're giving you some guys that are going to be undrafted. Our criteria is after RB 50, after wide receiver 60, and then way beyond. We're giving you the guys that are going to go undrafted. When everyone else is trying to pick them up week 1, 2, 3, guess what? We're going to have them on our team.
They're going to be on our benches.
You watch, you're going to have them on your team. Stat of the day for you. Got a stat for you. Cowboys offense over the past 5 years in terms of points per game. Ready for this? 6-2-1-1-1. And the 2 is with the Dak injury. This is pre-Dak injury, so we're only going 4 games there.
Before he broke his leg or whatever?
Still, 6-2-1-1-1 points per game.
And yet,
that's crazy.
How many playoff wins in that era?
I know. I'm just saying, Dak right now, this isn't the quarterback show, but Dak right now is going quarterback between 9 and 13. With those numbers, with this defense, get yourself some Cowboys.
Regression. No way. They didn't improve the wide receiver core outside of signing CeeDee Lamb. So what do they
got?
A
top 10 tight end.
All right, this is a Cowboys show. Sorry. Also, question of the day.
CeeDee Lamb definitely not a sleeper.
Question of the day. Give us your deep sleepers. Give us your guys no one's talking about. Maybe guys we never heard of. We've heard of them, but maybe other guys haven't. We're getting into this list. All right, I'm going to give you my first deep sleeper here. This is right on the cusp here, but I love this guy. It's Ray Davis, RB 55. They have James Cook, who they do not trust near the goal line at all. Okay, they don't trust him. He's a fumbler. He's small. He's injury prone. And they have Ty Johnson. Now, I was all about Damian Harris last year. So was this guy for the same reason. But Ray Davis, this guy is like an MJD. He's a little bit more all-purpose. I love this dude. They drafted him for a reason. They don't have a lot of wide receivers. Give me some Ray Davis. What do you guys think?
That's a solid pick right there.
Like
Ray Davis carried me to a fantasy championship in college last year. I saw the kid catch. I saw a run after the catch ability. Great blocker, too. And with a team that really doesn't trust their primary back, he's got an opportunity to carve out a nice role there.
Yeah, I didn't see James Cook putting up the numbers that he did last year necessarily, and I don't think they're repeatable in that offense, especially when you're potentially dialing back the pass game with Diggs being gone, and then Josh Allen's never going to stop running, apparently. So
he has to eventually.
Oh, man.
He has to eventually.
Dude hasn't missed a game
Big
yet.
dude.
What, 5 years?
Yeah.
Nick O, give me your first running back.
All right, first running back is going 149 overall expert consensus ranking on FantasyPros. I believe that's the 49th running back, so I cheated a little bit. You did say 50.
It's okay.
I'm going a smidge over, and I'm going back to the well. I'm going back to Ty Chandler. I was real big on him last year. I thought he was going to take over that offense, take over that backfield. It wasn't quite there. My concern now is the Aaron Jones injury, and I don't think that Minnesota's going to have a run game with Aaron Jones. Ty Chandler is going to be the guy with playing from behind, able to catch, a little more dynamic, and just younger and healthier. I got major trust issues.
My concern there is just the offense in general. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of points to go around. Yeah. Plus, Ty Chandler couldn't crack Alexander Madison, who couldn't crack into the starting lineup without an injury.
Well, he did crack him eventually.
Yeah, okay.
Like an egg.
Yeah.
What do you got?
So Kamani Vidal is my... Oh, I'm sorry. Were you done? Okay, yeah. Kamani Vidal out of Troy. I believe running back 69. Yes, a very nice running back 69.
That's also my next guy, so let's tag team this guy.
All right, so 6th-round rookies generally aren't good bets in fantasy, but my thing is I don't trust Gus. He's on the Chargers, so they want to be a run-first team. I don't really trust Gus Edwards. He's another year older. J.K. Dobbins is probably going to be a shell of his former self with that injury that he's trying to work back from. Vidal has a chance to wind up as the Chargers lead back in a team that wants to run the ball, that is also going to be – Justin Herbert tends to check it down. A lot of opportunity for passes there. Lower-level competition at Troy, but he ranked 6th among 231 qualifying running backs last year and PFF's rushing grade, 2nd in missed tackles force, and 26th in elusiveness rating. He has everything that Harbaugh wants in a back. Anything I missed?
I have him comped as Mark Ingram. He's 5'8", 215. Mark Ingram is about 5'10", 220. Decent chops of Mark Ingram catching. Same with Vidal. He actually might have a little better passing chops. And I think you missed that he played at Troy. I think you missed he was, number 1 or number 2 in rushing last year. in college.
I think he was number 2 overall, but he had 4,000 rushing yards across his 4 seasons at Troy.
You know, he's an experienced rookie, right? Where you'll see how Harbaugh is. Maybe he's not going to trust a rookie, but you're going to trust Mark Ingram. Are you going to trust J.K. Dobbins' health? I've heard a lot of experts being like, this is the time. And I love J.K. Dobbins, always have. This is the time to actually draft J.K. Dobbins because you're getting him free, right?
Yeah, free.
But
literally free.
Is he the same player? Is he even healthy? And will he stay healthy? That's 3 things. And Gus Edwards is just a guy. I like him. He's a banger. But this team's playing from behind. Gus Edwards is not comp to that. This guy is a 3-down back for this system. He could destroy this. He could be an RB1.
Let's not get crazy here. You're also dealing with a pretty bad offense in general. So
what do you got for your other running back, Nico?
They did improve that line, though. I mean, I get they're maybe not going to have the best offense. Who knows if Greg Roman can create anything new?
Their win total's at 9, though. It's at 9. They're expecting them to be good.
Yeah, I don't
buy that either. I'm just telling you what Vegas says.
Watch our over-unders win totals.
What do you got,
That's
Nico?
a good call. I like it. We're staying in the NFC North, and we're going to Green Bay with Marshawn Lloyd.
That's a good one. Yeah.
The similar logic. Josh Jacobs got a lot of tread on, or not a lot of tread left on those tires. He got a lot of miles, and I don't know that he's going to be able to perform the way that he has been. You know, Green Bay wants to set up the pass with the run. I don't know what they're doing at receiver there. I don't expect that to be a strong suit. I think Love might take a step back now that they got a year of film on him. They're going to have to establish a run game if they want to be successful. So I think Lloyd is the type of runner in that offense that whether it's running up the middle or hitting the edges, the guy is more than capable.
And I do like Josh Jacobs. He's a workhorse. He's at this point of his career with all the tread, I think he's barely above average. And Lloyd is dynamic, which Josh Jacobs has never been dynamic. Let's not even fool ourselves. He's been an average player that can just tote the rock.
And I'm not saying none of these guys you're going to draft and start in the first 3-4 weeks even,
stash,
potentially,
man.
But especially at running back, it makes a lot of sense. So.
And A.J. Dillon and him are similar players, like I just said. Who comps to be the dynamic difference maker? 3rd down, 2-minute warning, stuff like that. That's this guy.
Yep.
And who's going to be the handcuff? I've loved A.J. Dillon for years, man, but I'm kind of off that. Great quads.
I'm over it.
I mean, the guy's got
I'm
thunder.
still in love with his legs, but I'm over him as a player.
I mean, if you like Latina chicks, the big legs.
Set your butt back as far as you can. Yeah.
That's your guy, but we're talking about football here. You have another running back?
I do. It's Will Shipley. So from the Eagles, out of Clemson.
Whoa,
this one's
whoa.
This
This guy! Come here! Come on! Whoa, that's crazy! Enough with you! Okay.
he is going at RB
92?
74
my
right now.
Saquon love, man.
Yeah, this is actually more of an insurance play than it is anything else. Saquon has had some weird injuries in his career, and right now it projects that Kenneth Gainwell is still going to be the backup there. Shipley is not a big bruiser, 5'11", 206, but I look back to a super outstanding sophomore year, about 1,200 yards rushing and 15 touchdowns. He had a very nice 69 catches over his final 2 seasons at Clemson. So if Saquon does miss time, I think you're going to see not Gainwell, but Shipley being the primary fill-in for him. And the one concern there is if he gets on Nick Sirianni's bad side, if he blows a block, because he's not a great pass blocker, he could be riding the pine. But if he is out there, there's plenty of opportunity for him to make a name for himself. So Will Shipley is my other deep running back sleeper.
One more running back for Nico. What do you got?
All right, my last one. This one stings a little because I was really high. You were really high on the other guy in this offense as well. I don't know where you are now, but I'm kind of over Javonte Williams at this point. I feel like he's a shell of himself after that injury.
Thank you.
Hasn't really bounced back.
Yeah.
I'm done arguing with Story about it. Watched last year.
It's not Samaje Perine. It's the other guy.
Yeah.
You know the 3 tenors?
Yeah, Pavarotti, Domingo, and the other guy.
The other guy.
It's Jaleel McLaughlin.
Yeah.
And what I think could potentially lead this offense at running back. And granted, they're not going to be up and running the ball a ton, but McLaughlin's got some decent hands. I think he's a good all-around player. I think he's the guy that, 1A, 1B is how I see this coming in.
He's a playmaker. The problem is he can't pass block, but they're going to be bad. They're going to be playing from behind.
And you look at Peyton with Kamara type. I'm not saying he's anywhere near Kamara, but like the way he ran his offense, right?
Right. And what other playmakers do they have in that offense?
Cortland Sutton.
Marvin Mims.
They're not playmakers, dude. This guy is athletic.
man.
This guy could be the Marshall Faulk. It's just great. I shouldn't say that word, but like the Marshall Faulk of this offense, being down 20. Give the kid a chance to play. He was super efficient last year. I know this from a Javonte Williams owner. When he came in the field, Williams was 2 yards, 4 yards, 3 yards, 2 yard catch, and then McLaughlin just 18-yard catch.
Yeah.
Make 3 guys miss.
Yeah, you want to talk about giving what you're given.
I love it, man. I love it, actually, and I wanted to have him on here, but I kind of still
Javonte
Williams. I don't. I'm off him.
I think you're going to see Samaje Perine be a thorn in the side of fantasy.
They should just release him.
They're not going to. Sean Payton is
3 down, 3 back system.
He just likes having a guy that he can give the ball to on first and second down.
That's the worry with McLaughlin, but late year, why would they play Samaje Perine, right?
He played late last year.
That wasn't, yeah.
I mean, Sean Payton, who knows what Sean Payton, I don't think you could,
Moving on to wide receivers here. My first one, again, this is right on the cusp here. Might be cheating, but it's crazy when you see how late he's going. It's Jahan Dotson, dude.
I thought about Dotson.
Wide receiver 61. And here's the rest of the depth chart. Terry McLaurin, who I love.
Yep.
Alame Zacchaeus.
Olamide.
Yeah. I don't know how to pronounce his first name, and I'm not drunk, I swear.
He was on the Falcons last year, right?
He's been everywhere.
I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. I breathe the mountain air, man. Travel, I've had my share, man.
And then Diami Brown, who is Chris Sims' love buddy, who he had top 2 in his ranks coming out.
Woof.
He's a speed guy. I'm telling you, Dotson is on the field every snap. He sucked last year, but he was not as bad as wide receiver 61. Yeah. And the quarterback play cannot be worse. I love the player. I love him out of Penn State. He had a great rookie year. Give me Jahan Dotson. There is 0 chance this guy finishes worse than his ADP.
My concern there is Jane Downing is just going to pull so many pass attempts out of the offense.
Wide receiver 61,
but
does it matter?
You've got an alpha on one side. You don't really have a whole. I just don't know that there's enough volume there.
I get that, but I feel like there's a chance he carves out a top 40 to possibly wide receiver 3 role. With if Daniels is decent and can have 38 100 yards passing and can have 22 touchdowns, he's going to get a third of that pie.
And that's why all these guys are sleepers, right? You can poke holes in all these.
True.
Yeah. It's just we see an upside or we see a potential advantage that we like based just on our experience, history, film watching. The reason you're watching us, because we are professionals.
Fanatics. And if Terry McLaurin happens to get hurt.
Oh, don't say it. Don't say
it. He never gets hurt.
Don't
He never gets hurt. I'm just saying, like, dude, there's many ways. There's no way he finishes at wide receiver 62, which would be worse than where you're drafting him. I know you're not drafting guys to just beat their ADP at 61. I'm just telling you, he is a high upside stash. You're banking on the offense. You got Cliff Kingsbury coming in. They're going to be playing from behind. Their defense is trash. Give me Jahan Dotson, who I like the player. I like the situation. And there's a question mark at quarterback, but it can't be worse than Sam Howell. That's all I'm saying. What do you got, Story?
So Dontavian Wicks of the Packers is my first sleeper. He is currently sitting at wide receiver 63. I just want pieces of this up-and-coming passing game. So you kind of mentioned it. The running game is a little suspect there. So there's a lot of challenges. Yeah, there's a lot of competition. You've got Christian Watson, who apparently changed his stride or his gait or something like that because he had one hamstring that's shorter or longer than the other. I don't remember what it is.
Yeah, they sports science that one.
Yeah, right. Weird. Malik Heath, Bo Melton, Romeo Doubs, and of course Jaden Reed. Right, so a lot of target competition. I think you're looking at a number 3 wide receiver in this offense. Christian Watson, assuming he stays healthy, is going to get probably the most snaps, and then Jaden Reed. But we saw Jaden Reed disappear at times when there was a lot on the field.
He can carve a little roll down the.
Carve himself on a nice little roll in the NFL at some point. And Doubs, he's just his metrics are just terrible through the first 2 seasons. I'm kind of keying in on a guy that I think is super cheap and could be a nice big playmaking ability for Christian Watts or for Jordan Love, who loves to throw the ball downfield.
You're banking on the player is what you're doing, and the quarterback.
I'm banking on the quarterback and an up and coming passing game.
Let me ask him, not to try to have a competition here. Jahan Dotson or Wicks? What are you going with? Who has higher upside? Who is more playable?
Oh, man, that's tough because Wicks was one of my sleepers.
You have him? You have Wicks?
On that one. Yeah, Wicks was one of my
wide
receiver sleepers.
Okay,
I love Dotson as the wide receiver, too, there. I don't think he's going to get challenged at all. I think they're going to be throwing. They're from behind. But the question is, how much do they score? How much does Jaden run? How competitive are they? Is the volume going to be enough? I kind of question it. Wicks is here, and Reed is here, and what you pay right now for draft price.
Yeah.
And what you can get is absolutely equal, in my opinion. And I think Wicks is gonna have. I like put my stamp on this. He's gonna have more fantasy points at the end of the year than Reed, and you're paying way more.
Wow,
You said the same thing about Ayuk and Debo last year, and you hit that one.
I think Wicks is going to be the guy in Green Bay besides Watson this year, and it's a fantastic pick by Story. I do like Dotson. It's a wide receiver too that's on an offense that arguably is going to struggle and be from behind. It's the Atlanta guys are the other ones that I'm looking at. They're looking at Tennessee, right, with Ridley, and all these guys are kind of in that same category, whether it's Mooney down in there, or whether it's Rondale Moore got traded over there, and there's
volume. It's just can the quarterback produce?
See volumes, yeah.
All right, you ready for this one? You're going to love this one. You guys are both going to laugh. Wide receiver 67, Quinton Johnston.
Ugh. I'm physically ill. I'm physically ill.
You know what? Y'all came on here last year on our pre-draft process.
I'll eat that crow.
Touted Quinton Johnston, and I sit here and told you he sucks balls. He's the worst player ever. He's a bust. He's a bum. But I see wide receiver 67, and last year with Keenan Allen, with Mike Williams, with Austin Eckler, people were drafting this guy at like wide receiver 30.
That's insane.
And that was awful. And I think all of us may have done it a little bit too. Not me, but you guys were. Wide receiver 67. What's a situation like this year? Well, he's got the same quarterback. He's got a better coach. There's no Austin Eckler. There's no Keenan Allen. There's no Mike Williams. You drafted a wide receiver named Ladd. And you have Joshua Palmer, who was also there last year. Why? Everyone's giving up on the guy. I told you he was a process. He was going to be a process.
No,
he was
more often than not. If a wide receiver misses year one,
that's it. I'm running the numbers on this one.
I disagree. I'd rather go wide receiver 57 and take Palmer.
Yeah, I agree. Palmer's a better pick. Plus, that offense stinks. They're going to be terrible.
Palmer's one of my sleepers.
Yeah. But all those guys that I talked about do the same thing. Who is the guy outside with size and speed? It's Quinton Johnston. Who's going to be on the field?
He can't catch the football. He's not getting on the field.
But he couldn't last year. We don't know this year. At this price, it's free. It's free. It's free.
It's
dude,
not,
but we had the same argument last year, and you told me you were right about him being good, and I told you that I was right. He was bad.
I'm going to eat
was right on that one.
Listen, if you can't show me anything in year one, you're done.
I'm just telling you, dude. At the price point, I'm not losing anything.
He's not worth a roster spot in a 25 team league.
Well, when he has 900 yards and 6 touchdowns and 64 catches at this price point, you're going to say I was right.
He might catch 2 in the year,
bro.
Might catch 2.
All right. I know you were going to hate it.
Yeah.
But this price point and the player, he was drafted that high for a reason. It was wrong.
I want to know what the people think. Is he a bounce back candidate or is he dead to the world? I'm running.
Give him a chance.
I'm going with the numbers.
67.
I got a question for you guys.
How big's my dick? It's 6 inches.
Let's go down.
Round.
From the ground.
What do you got? All right, we're moving on.
Okay.
Come on. What do you got for your wide receiver story?
So you mentioned him, Nico. It's Darnell Mooney. So this is a post-hype sleeper. Yep.
I'm glad I didn't pick him.
So wide receiver, a very nice 69.
Post-hype sleeper. Quinton Johnston is the post-hype
sleeper.
No,
there has to be. You have to have done
hibernation.
No, because it was false hype. At least Mooney was wide receiver 23 in PPRs in 2021, and he had 98 targets on a 60% target share as a rookie. So they're going to shift to a pass-leaning offense under Zach Robinson and Kirk Cousins, one of the best deep ball completion players in the league. Mooney's got deep speed, 4.38 40. Right, as I mentioned, Cousins ranks number 1 in accuracy on deep ball passes. There should be enough to go around with Drake London. He's one that you want to see it. I don't know you have seen it yet, so we don't know if that he's an actual alpha number 1. Kyle Pitts, we've seen plenty of disappointing there.
Pitts is going to play receiver this year, though.
That's what they say every year. But he lined up at X, Y, and slot a good percentage of time over the last 2 years anyway. So this is all hype anyway. The big challenge there is going to be Bijan's going to soak up a lot of targets in that offense. So for me, this is at least a useful weekly fill-in best ball kind of guy.
You know what's funny is you gave all these numbers about why you liked him, And my Quinton Johnston thing was like, I hated him last year. I was right there. And that's funny. What do you got, Nico?
Swinging back too far the other way.
What do you got, Nico?
The
community has,
This is not the pod for it, but I do own Mooney in a lot of best balls because I feel like he's a great value there. He was almost a sleeper for me.
Give me what you got, buddy.
My last receiver today is one Demario Pop Douglas.
Ooh, I got him too.
And I thought you might, Rob. I thought you might.
Wide receiver 68, bro.
And I was like, Rob's going to be on this one. And I wanted to be a little different, and like we're all hitting the same territory. Like you got like my 4 and my 5 receivers. Like we overlap some. So
there's a lot of guys there, but who plays that role?
No one really.
The Jarvis Landry role, if you will,
he's
right?
been showing out, man. Mm-hmm. The question is just how much does that offense score?
It doesn't matter. It's PPR.
Yeah.
Even this is half point PPR we're going off of. Give me 80 catches, dude, at wide receiver 68, which is what he's going to do.
Yeah, it's possible.
And they got all the rookies, right? It's Javon Baker, Polk, who I kind of like, and then Kendrick Bourne and Juju Smith-Schuster, but none of them play the role that Douglas is going to play, which he already has from last year. We know the guy can play.
And he's been showing out early training camp, too.
And he's a second-year player. It's not like he's, like, old news.
He's my number 3 as well.
Who?
Demario Douglas. Pop.
So we all have him.
We all have him?
We all have him on a
Let's
sleeper list.
go!
Well, you know I love Pop Douglas since last year. He's my guy.
Dude.
Yeah. If he climbs up to an 80% snap share. Last year he had, in games that he played with a snap rate above 60%, his full season would have been about 70 catches and 784. Now you take a second-year leap with a much better quarterback under Drake May. Second year is the new third year for wide receivers. The ball has to go somewhere. It has to go somewhere in New England. And while I'm way down on this offense, there's nobody else that I think is going to. I mean, Jalen Polk should be able to get something there by the end of the year, but yeah.
It doesn't have to be Drake May. They also have Brissett, who we saw what he did with Terry McLaurin. Like, I know it's an outside player, but like he's a professional quarterback. Drake May has the upside. They're going to be getting their brains beaten in every week. Give me 9 targets for Douglas. Give me 5 for 55 every week with some gadget plays, right? A little sprinkle.
Who knows?
He had a 20% target share in games when he averaged snap rates above 60%.
Love it. Okay, you have another receiver?
I have a tight end.
Okay, I do have a bonus receiver for you. I've been touting this guy since his draft last year. A.T. Perry, wide receiver 90 on the Saints. You got Chris Olave. You got Rashid Shaheed. Rashid Shaheed, pardon me. They're the same player in terms of size, weight, speed, role. Small guys that go down the field that are shifty. They do not have a big guy anymore. They don't have an X receiver. This is the dude, A.T. Perry. After that, you have Equinemius St. Brown.
Taysom Hill.
And Taysom Hill. I'm just saying, man, this guy's going to be on the field, I'd say 60 to 70% of the time. If there is an injury, he showed out last year. He had a couple nice touchdown catches. The guy can play. The
dude's talented.
I
opened my eyes to him, and it still showed up in the NFL.
I told you during the draft process that he had the same exact athletic comp as my boy Quinton Johnston. You said no, and maybe that's not a good thing apparently because it means he's not athletic, but he is. He's tall. He's savvy. He is a great kid. Wide receiver 90. I know that's great kid isn't a good argument.
Wide receiver 90, well.
This guy could carve out a role with an injury. He could be an every week wide receiver 3. Without that, I think he's a wide receiver 4 or 5. And upside of Derek Carr, literally.
Upside of Derek Carr.
No, I'm saying Derek Carr had tied for the most 300-yard passing games last year of any quarterback. 6. That's a fact. This guy's going to throw the ball. They're going to throw the ball. This is their wide receiver 3.
I'm not sure that they're going to score enough touchdowns to make him relevant at all.
He's the one scoring the touchdowns, though, baby. All right. You have a tight end?
Yeah. So just for 2 QB League players out there, a couple of honorable mentions, Will Levis and Bo Nix. Just for those. If you want to know more, hit me up in the comments and we can have a conversation. But Mike Gesicki is my sleeper. And this one,
where is he at?
Physically ill. He's in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So for me, it's being tied to Joe Burrow and that offense. It's a cheap contract. Yeah.
No, he's got great hands. Great hands.
Yeah. This is all about just the role within that offense because we've seen Hayden Hurst do it. A team that's projected for the 6th most points in 2024. I want the tight end there, even if it's just. I mean, we're talking deep, or tight end.
What is he going? Tight end what?
27. Yeah. Okay. So you really need 2 tight end leagues for this.
All right, I have a last tight end here, Ben Sinnott. This is similar to the Trey McBride situation last year. So the Washington football team, as they call them, they have Zach Ertz. Just like the Cardinals had Zach Ertz last year. Zach Ertz is done. He is cooked. He won't play the whole year. If he does, he's going to get overpassed by this dude who is a monster, a great blocker. He is a beast. I love this dude at tight end 2028. I love him. I think he is the perfect guy. I don't like drafting two tight ends. And I don't really like it for best ball as much because there is questions. Will he play? When will he play? But this is a guy to keep an eye on. If you have deep, deep leagues with 9 bench players, and you don't draft an early tight end, get this guy in your roster.
Yeah, both of those were my considerations for actual sleeper. I just want to have a little fun with nerves.
Have you seen his film?
The rookie tight end.
Where did he go? Kansas State? Is that right?
But
Yeah, Kansas State.
Did you see his film?
26.
This dude is a monster,
He's
dude.
big.
He's fast. I seen him taking out 2 dudes blocking on run plays. Like, he's got it all.
2 dudes?
And he's 2 dudes, yes. He's savvy. I love this guy, and I feel like if I do wait and I take a Pat Fryermuth or one of these guys going 12, 13, 14, 15, I really wait. I'd never do this. I always take handcuff running backs, but maybe this year might sprinkle a little Benson that.
Yeah, second round draft pick.
I'm saying he's got the capital. Like, what else do you want? The guy's got everything. What do rookie quarterbacks do? Who do they lean on?
They're the dump downs, check downs.
They do
tight ends.
Unless they're running quarterbacks, and that's my concern in Indy.
Screw you.
And that's my concern in Washington is: do I dump it down for 3 yards, or do I run around, look for another big play, and then get it? I'm going to run for the same 2 or 3.
Jane Daniels is going to learn really fast in the NFL that he can't get to the outside like he can.
He's going to throw. He's going to dump
versus SEC competition.
All right, boys, this was awesome. We're going to get back with our quarterback show.
And it's been a complete joy.